Hi, everybody. Yeah, it is today, Thursday, October 12th, 2023. I am filming this at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Let's get the obligatory stuff out of the way. Yes, I am a clairvoyant, clairaudient, psychic. Everything is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research, form your own opinions. I apologize to everybody who click onto this at the regular scheduled upload premiere time of 4:30 Central Standard Time, but due to the fact that worldwide events are changing moment by moment, it's like between upload time and premiere time, everything could turn upside down, inside out, and backwards. So while this nonsense over across the pond on the Mediterranean shores is happening, I'm going to be putting certain things up ASAP. And please remember that on this Saturday, the 14th, I will be doing a live broadcast, which means people can come on and ask questions or make comments. And it's 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, that's Chicago time, 7 p.m. London time. So that's Saturday the 14th. Okay? And I hope to see more than my regular, like 50 regulars in the audience. So spread the word and let's get going. Now, I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday, I put up on my excellent feed, Elon's platform. Why don't all of us pull out our ugly holiday sweaters and wear them in support of the country with the white flag with the blue Magen David on it? Okay, so this is the sweater I had on yesterday when I was out doing errands. Yes, it was kind of chilly, and I had a white turtleneck on underneath it. And it's kind of funny because for some friends, I'm making their little girls their Halloween costumes. So I went to my favorite uh, place to go buy fabric. And it's a huge building in the Pilsen neighborhood of Chicago. I mean, it's huge. For the first time, if you're going to go there for the first time, allow yourself at least 2 to 3 hours to walk around. They've got everything. Well, when I went in, I was immediately greeted by a gentleman, and he was wearing his kippa or yarmulke, depending on what you call it, and I could see the fringe, the strings of his stole that he wears underneath his outside garments. And I kind of laughed because I opened up my jacket and I said, "Take a look." And he's like, kind of looked at it questioning. And then he realized it was my sweater. What was on it? I go, "Yes, I'm wearing it in support of uh, the white flag with blue stars, with a blue star." And he and I just got into the most wonderful conversation on earth. And I did mention how I got tossed out of my other congregation because basically I'm not going to allow some donkey to tell me how to live my life or what to do. And he just like, I said, yeah, I told the associate rabbi, hey, with her complacent woke behavior, she would have been loaded onto a boxcar. He goes, and they tossed you out for telling somebody the reality? I go, yeah. They don't like people who can think for themselves. He goes, I know. And he did state that the majority of the people that attend Reform or Conservative or Orthodox are complete morons. They don't understand what's happening again. And that if I want to experience people who are seeing the realities, I'm going to have to head for super ultra Orthodox, borderline Hasidic. And he goes, find a congregation like that and most likely you will be welcome. Well, I may run down to that place again next week and I'm going to ask him, hey, where would he think I would be more welcome at? Because I'm not a super, super religious person where I'm following every single rule in the Talmud, but I am a spiritual person. And I think that balances out. I mean, yeah, these donkeys are super devout, religious, and they follow every rule and regulation. Yeah, they follow the leader of the, to be dumped into, yeah, like back in the 30s, 40s. They followed every rule and regulation and landed in boxcars. Duh. It's better to be, in my personal opinion, it's better to be spiritual than to be so religious that it leads to your own crossing of the Rainbow Bridge. Now, if people want to know what fabric store I did go to and I got some fantastic stuff, shoot me an email and I will let you know, because I don't want this place of business to get harassed by the wrong sort of people. Now, I did take a lot of notes what's going on. I mean, it's like mind-boggling, all the stuff. And so I may some people may think I'm jumping around, but I'm just gonna read off and give my impressions of how things came in order. But one thing, since it's now being broadcast on worldwide media, that there is talk of this Friday tomorrow being kind of like, I want to say open hunting season for people who follow the Old Testament. I guess the guys that are super, super devout, praying 5 times a day, in their faith, they're basically being told it's open hunting season on the followers of the Old Testament. So, folks, tell your friends that until everything is settled across the Mediterranean, I would really avoid going onto any property that holds Friday night, Saturday morning services. So for their own safety, don't wear anything too blatant. Avoid even going on the property or being near a house of worship for people who follow the Old Testament. Just be safe. And you watch out because, the school districts are still allowing young girls, teenagers, to be wearing a hijab and niqab and the abaya style dress into the schools. Now, the schools need to stop that because A, they're making those girls be a target for harassment, and B, wearing that flowing garment can hide something that they could trigger to go boom. Yeah. Women are also told that if they do away with somebody who doesn't follow their faith, they are blessed with everything once they cross the Rainbow Bridge. So yeah, school districts ban the abaya style of dress. It could save someone a trip over the bridge. Now, somebody else did ask me where else I get some of my information from. Well, yeah, okay, I traveled the world with my dad, and I did pick up some language skills, so I don't speak it very well, but when I slow down the playback, I can make the gist of what these people are saying. But for others, to make life easier, they do have an English language broadcast of Al Jazeera. That's A-L, new word, Jazeera, English. Look for that. They put stuff up on this platform and these other two places. And on this other thing, it's, I have to spell it, Bitechute. Again, so you can grab your piece of paper and a pen. Bitechute. That place is like the wild, wild west. You would be surprised how much goes up over there, and it's, yeah, and what's said and what's not said. Now, on that platform, they did announce that, yes, there is now skirmishes happening on the border with the country that the Danny Thomas family is from. Okay? We all know Danny Thomas, great comedian, great man. He founded St. Jude's Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. And his daughter, Marlo, is married to Phil Donahue. And she's proud of her Mediterranean heritage. So it's that country that, where it borders with the white and blue flag country, there's already skirmishes happening. And actually, our cow poop, bull poop Secretary of State Blinken is over there. And we know the Democrats have funded this mess by releasing that $6 billion. And yeah, they pulled out of Afghan land so quickly that they left all this equipment behind, which is now being used by Hamas. So Blinken is being such a Mr. Hypocrite when he knows Barry, via his mouthpiece JoJo and Cammy Poo, and Blinken, Barry, who follows Louis Farrakhan, made sure that the Shiites would have lots of equipment. That's why they yanked everybody out of Afghan land really fast, so they had to leave all the stuff behind. And he made sure that JoJo and Blinken gave freed up $6 billion. So the IRANS people, leaders, those Ayatollahs, could pay for all this other stuff needed for this. I want to think of a good word to say, to use. Okay, I hate to use the a word for a food item, but I think people can get the gist. For yeah, the Iranian Ayatollahs are funding the hummus people, okay, and the Hetzabah people. I know I can't use the real words because of protocol. So the hummus people and the Hetzabah people that are on the north end. Yeah, he wants the people from Danny Thomas's homeland to stay out, but they're already involved. Now, that home country of Danny Thomas has a city in there that once was called the Paris of the Middle East. Well, unfortunately, back in the 70s, a lot of disturbance happened there and totally trashed out that city. So now that country leads more towards the Shiite versus the Sunni, because the Sunnis are the good ones. Yeah. The Sunnis are the people from Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Jordan. And Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Jordan all want to have a very good relationship with Israel. And they're Sunni. They're like they're like Protestants, okay? They're like Anglicans of that faith. Whereas the Shiites are the extreme fundamentalist Bible thumpers who force women to basically walk around in a cloth bag over their body. Yeah. So Hamas people really want, they're the ones making the girls wear the stuff. And hold on one second. Yeah, what I was saying is that the Sunni, the Sunshine group that prays 5 times a day, they actually heard rumblings and did give the guys over in Tel Aviv a 3-day heads up. But right now there's so many extremely religious factions of the Old Testament people that they aren't paying attention. They blindly follow Blinken and Barry's mandates, saying, oh, this, no. We're going to follow what the donkey party in America is saying. And if the donkey party says there's nothing happening, then we're going to follow that. Well, now they got caught with their prayer shawls around their butt because it happened on Shabbat. And they always plan it on Shabbat or High Holy Day. You think they would learn, these people would learn by past experiences, but they don't, so everything's bound to keep repeating until they wake up and smell coffee. Now it's with what's going on over there at the hummus group, doesn't care what passport a person travels under. So, yeah, there's Americans over there, but they don't give a hoot. You follow the Old Testament, so you need to be sent across the Rainbow Bridge. They don't care what country, what passport a person has. And they have, like, of all places, Germany, Deutschland, the home of the fatherland. You know, the bad boys from 1930 to 45, they're one of the first countries to stop everything from going into the Gaza area. Yeah, they cut off money and they cut off supplies. Especially after the horrible reenactment of what happened during WW2. I mean, these guys followed the, sorry, Japan, but the Japanese playbook of what the Japanese soldiers did all through Southeast Asia. And also they're also following the playbook of what the blue and yellow flag countries, soldiers that were loyal to Adolf, did to the people who follow the Old Testament. Yeah, Germany got called on the carpet because they blindly followed Adolf. Well, at least now they were the first country to sever ties with the Hamas group. Okay? And a lot of countries are not providing anything else to go in to the Gaza area. It's right now a lot of places have cut off water, food supply, and if they were buying electricity from other countries, they shut off the power too. Now our donkeys are saying, "Oh, that's inhumane." Okay. That's how supportive the donkey party in America is. Yeah, Barry prays 5 times a day, and he's upset that his preferred group of 5 time a day people are now being punished without water, food, or electricity. Because Barry hates the people that follow the Old Testament. Yeah, he plays nice to our faces. But in reality, yeah, go pull up, go do some internet research on Louis Farrakhan. I think it's spelled Farahkhan. But I'm sure there'll be an autocorrect on the internet, and just listen to some of his stuff. I mean, it's I'm surprised, but if Illinois wasn't blue, no matter who, this guy would have been put away for inciting violence. Okay? Now, it's also been brought up now. It's starting to be brought up by other people here in the States and on mainstream media. How many members of the Hamas group and the Hetzabah group have crossed into the U.S. via the southern border? Because if you look at them closely, they kind of fit the physical description of people from Central America, South America. Well, yeah, it's like the Mediterranean. People forget that Spain is a Mediterranean country. And Spain actually, they're the ones that settled Central America and South America. So yeah, the people from the Far East, okay, what would it be considered? The Far Eastern section of the Mediterranean Sea. Yeah, the Mediterranean people all have a common appearance. And they look like the people who come out of Central and South America. So the phony Border Patrol makes the assumption that they speak a dialect of Spanish and not a dialect of Arabic or Farsi or Urdu. How many members of Hamas are in the United States, in New York City, which has a very large, New York City has a very large population of people who follow the Old Testament. So does Chicago. Heck, our governor pretends to be one. And yeah, and Los Angeles is getting flooded also. Los Angeles, let's put it this way. The movie industry was started in New York and Chicago, the old S&A studios here in Chicago. My great-grandmother worked there. Yeah, she was a tailor. She did the family story says she's the one who came up with the costume for Charlie Chaplin for his tramp character. Yeah, well, because the weather is unpredictable and icky half of the year in Chicago and New York, that's why they moved the film industry to California, where it was sunny. And the film industry still is basically run, what hasn't been taken over by the Big Red Sea, is run by people who follow the Old Testament. I mean, even Rachel was told by Ari Emanuel, who, hey, yeah, he made it, from what I've been told, yes, he did have a bar mitzvah. Ari told Rachel she has to put out a comment trash talking the Hamas people, okay? Yeah, she got told to make her comment, and that was after Casey 3's and Will and Kathy's statement. So then Rachel had to make hers. Now, unfortunately, JoJo did go on and speak. And he put out this news report, and they put out, oh yes, well, the U.S. is now sending supplies to the Promised Land. But we really don't have a whole heck of a lot of stuff because Barry already sent it all over to the Z guy. So the stuff that we're sending now to the Promised Land is the leftovers and the out-of-date stuff. The Democrats are doing the same thing to the Promised Land as what they did to our troops in Corregidor, in the Southeast Asia islands. Yeah. The Democrats sent our Navy, Army, our military guys that were basically holding out in Corregidor. My dad told me that all the supplies that they were being sent were from 1917, 18. World War I supplies. That's why we ended up surrendering at Corregidor, because FDR's Democratic Party basically sent unusable stuff to Southeast Asia. Well, unusable stuff again, old stuff that's no longer workable, is being sent to the Promised Land. So Barry and JoJo are repeating history. Yeah. And now we're getting more and more stuff being said and shown. I mean, there's kids. How stupid can they be? That are going out and protesting, supporting the Hamas group and the alleged P country. Yeah, they don't, and what they do is, like, you'll have people who people who pray 5 times a day are having rallies, and then across directly across from it, you've got all these stupid little BLM supporters, BLM brats, burn, loot, murder crew, having their own little protest rally directly across. And now it's coming out that the founder of the burn, loot, murder crew, Patrisse Cullors, is actively supporting the Hamas group. She's making things equal, like, well, the people who are black and brown are equal to the Hamas group. Yeah. This is, yes, the burn, loot, murder crew that basically ripped apart major cities summer of 2020, who has their idol George Floyd. They're supporting, yes, she is pushing people, telling people to support the Hamas group. And when those guys reveal themselves in the United States, the burn, loot, murder crew is supposed to help them in their JIHAD of people whose complexion is lighter than that of a brown paper bag. Yes. The Patrisse Cullors, you know, the woman that took all the money that was donated and bought all those $1 million houses. She wants her followers, her minions, to help wipe out send people who don't pray 5 times a day over the Rainbow Bridge. And allegedly, well, we do know that the Hamas group really started to come into their own and come into power during Barry's official reign of terror. And yeah, Barry is helping them to take back the promised land through every means. And now, I mean, stuff that I was saying last Sunday on the 8th is being brought into, like I said, mainstream media. And they are explaining that back before Barry started helping out the Hamas people, the Hamas group, Arafat and his fatwa rule, style of government, the women in the Gaza area, basically, the first thing they did was ditch the abaya style of dress, and next thing in the know, they're walking around in jeans and t-shirts. They're dressing like real American women. Western style of dress and behavior. Yeah, that's the Sunni. That's the Sunni people. The Sunshine Group. But it's when Barry got into power, he helped the Hamas guys, the Shiite, take back the Gaza area. First thing they did was force women into covering up. That's why we need to make sure that they kids here in this, it's now easy to target little girls whose daddies are following the Shiite customs, who could possibly be on the sly a Hamas operative. And yeah, all the Sunni, the Sunshine 5 times a day countries are shutting their borders. Like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, they're all shutting their borders right now. Yeah, they are. And we know that JoJo and Barry keep supporting. And we know that Blinken over there is basically working as a shill. And now more and more people are waking up and they're confirming the information that I and Amanda Grace gave to you. Now, former speaker Newt, like the lizard, he's not a reptilian, but Newt G, he's now officially putting pressure on all the elephant people we've got to stand up and we have to fix all the damage that Barry's doing. And yeah, we have to get a decent person in as the new Speaker of the House. It's basically between Jim and Steve. They haven't figured out who they want yet, but hopefully by the normal time this would go up today, that we may have some news. Or by the time I finish recording, we might have news who's the new Speaker of the House. But yeah, all of us elephants have to stand up and make our voices known. Even though, yeah, it's like Barry's puppet Jojo is in public condemning the hummus people. Barry's sitting back in his office in his sweatpants with his feet up laughing his ass off. So, yes, I mean, we even have to shut down good old Bernie Sanders, the socialist. Yeah, he's an independent socialist idiot. And allegedly, he also had a bar mitzvah. Okay? Now, Bernie Sanders is saying, oh, we should stop all assistance to the Promised Land people. And we should start making sure that the Gaza people, the Hamas people, have food and water and electricity. That's Bernie Sanders. That's one of the guys that tried to run for president. But I guess because he and Barry had conflicts of interest, that's why the DNC didn't support him. But yeah, even now, Liz Wheeler, her little blurb this morning, basically is saying the same thing I said. Yeah. And more people will be. Now, we've got to, I hate sounding like a broken record, but people be careful. Tomorrow, avoid going to any, in fact, everyone, until this mess is over with. Stop attending any place of worship, be that you go on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. If there's going to be any large gatherings at any non-5-time-a-day worship, 5-time-a-day place, stay away, because they want to go to places where large groups are congregating. So, so shut the doors, lock down the doors, pretend it's a C-19 lockdown all over again. Protect your parishioners or your congregants. Just do something over live media platform. Do not have people congregate together. If you do that, I'm talking to RABBIs and the guys who wear cassocks and the collar with the white bit. All of you need to stop holding group gatherings, because those who don't are putting their congregation, their parishioners, for a possible trip across the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah. Okay, people, I'm at 40 minutes now. I want to remind everyone, this Saturday, October 14th, live broadcast, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 1 p.m. Chicago time, 7 p.m. London time. I'm talking to some people, see if they want to come on. But with all the stuff, I mean, everybody who's like me, who's a psychic, we're just getting bombarded with stuff. And overwhelmed with phone calls. So, yeah. I'd like to see, hey, tell your friends. I will have more information. And let's everybody have a stay safe the next few days. Stay safe. And I'll be talking to and looking forward to interacting with everybody on Saturday. So have a safe Shabbat at home. And I'll leave it there. See you Saturday. Bye-bye.